What's going on, guys? It's Josh from Athletic Preparation, and we are going to cover for you today how to set up for your squat stance, so that way you get the most strength out of it, get the most power out of it, and figure out where your feet should really be, so in that way you can squat the most amount of weight, do it safely, do it effectively, and make sure that it transfers, all right? So it's pretty simple when you guys want to set up your squat stance. What I like to do first is start on a box. So I actually sit on a box, just like you normally would, like if you're sitting in a chair, so that way you're unloaded, you're comfortable, and you don't really feel threatened, okay? So you can figure out what feels good for you. So I like to sit on the edge of the box, and then from there, I'll just kind of put my feet where they feel comfortable, and then from there, I'll start to sit up with really, really good posture. My knees are basically tracking over the middle of my foot / my toes. My chest is nice and tall, and I'd say this probably feels pretty good for me. And also what you'll notice too, is a lot of the times you have asymmetrical hips, so that like every time your toe is not gonna be completely pointed straight forward. They're gonna be turned out just a little bit. And same thing over here, you'll notice that my left foot is turned out a little bit more than my right toe. So that could be meaning that I have some stuff going on in my hip. So just know for a fact that not everything is gonna be perfectly symmetrical. Your toes aren't gonna always be pointing straight ahead. And they're also that might not be even from side to side. Again, that's more some stuff going on in your hips. But anyways, so I like to squat from here, and then from there, I simply just stand up once I'm off the box. And then from there, that'd probably be my squat stance where I feel comfortable with. I feel solid, I feel secure, I feel like I can move the most amount of weight. And that's kind of phase one to teach you how we'd set up for the squat or where you should position your feet for the squat. A second alternative is the jump test. So with the jump test, all you basically do is jump, stick your landing, and basically your body will kind of auto-regulate or find out where you should feel or where you should, where you feel like your best center of support for your squat. So if I just did a quick jump and I landed, like probably about right there, which is pretty similar to what I just set up on the box of like, this is where I probably spend most of my time doing my squats. Now, a big thing with your squat too is with your training, you can vary your stance, and you should vary your stance so you get a different stimulus. So meaning sometimes we do like a sport back squat where our feet will be a little bit more narrow and we can do our squats, but at the same time, we're not gonna hit the same depth that we would if we were a little bit wider, okay? So that's just one way to vary your training is by switching up your stance. So that way you don't overuse muscles, you get variety, you get movement variability. So sometimes you might do ultra wide sumo squats where your feet really wide if you're trying to get your glutes and your hamstrings a little bit more. Or you can bring your feet in narrow if you're trying to do your quads. So the good thing is rotate it, but then also find your power stance where you feel a little bit like strongest. You feel like you can move the most force, you feel comfortable, you kind of find that slot for yourself on your squat. So those are some basic tips on how to set up and find your squat stance for you. So I want to know, what questions do you have about the squat? I want you to comment them down below if you have a question about your squat stance. Also, like this video and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And we also put together a 4-week free speed, strength, and power workout for you guys. It's down in the link down here somewhere below. Make sure you go ahead and grab that. I'm going to email it to you personally.